Welcome everyone to Daily English Dialogues. I'm your host, Mike.
And I'm Vicki. We're so glad you could join us today. We're going to talk about something incredibly useful, how to describe places and your surroundings.
That's right. This is such a crucial skill for everyday English. Whether you're telling a friend about your apartment, giving someone directions, or just describing a beautiful park, you'll need these words.
Exactly. So today, we'll cover the magic phrases there is and there are for the present, and there was and there were for the past. We'll even practice asking questions and do a little role play.
It's going to be a packed episode, so let's get started. Okay, let's begin with the present tense. To talk about a single thing, just one item, we use the phrase there is. It's that simple. For example, I'm looking at my desk right now. It's pretty simple and tidy. On my desk, there is a laptop.
There is.
Exactly. There is a cup of coffee right next to it. And there is one notebook for my ideas. One laptop, one cup, one notebook. We use there is for all of them.
Sounds very organized, Mike.
I try. Now, to say something is not there, we just add not. So, there is not, or more commonly, we say there isn't. For example, on my desk, there isn't much clutter, and there isn't a printer on my desk.
Right, so there is for one thing. But what about when we have more than one? For that, we use there are. For instance, I'm looking at my living room. It's a bit more vibrant than your desk, Mike. In my living room, there are lots of plants.
Lots of plants, so more than one. Got it.
There are some colorful cushions on the sofa, and there are many books on the shelf. Plants, cushions, books, they are all plural, so we use there are.
That sounds much more lively than my desk.
It is. And for the negative plural, we say there are not or there aren't. So thankfully, there aren't any dirty dishes lying around.
Phew, that's good to hear. Okay, listeners, now it's your turn. Why don't you pause the podcast for just a moment and find one thing in your room to describe using there is. All right, so we can make statements, but what about asking questions? This is a really important skill when you're traveling or asking for help.
And it's so easy. You just flip the words. Instead of saying there is a window, you ask, is there a window?
Perfect. Let's try it. Vicki, is there a window in your room?
Yes, there is, a big one. Okay, my turn to ask. Mike, are there any pictures on your wall?
No, there aren't actually. My walls are pretty bare. I should probably get some art.
You should. Now, another very useful question is when we want to ask about the quantity of something. For that, we start with how many.
Yes, very useful.
So, for example, Mike, how many books are there on your shelf?
Ooh, good question. Let me see. There are about 50 books on my main shelf.
50. Wow. And see how the answer, there are 50 books, uses the same structure we've been practicing. It all connects.
It really does. You know what would be great practice? Let's describe a picture together. I have one here on my screen. It's a busy park scene.
Oh, fun. I love parks. What do you see?
That sounds amazing. No TV is a bold choice. In my dream house, there's a huge kitchen with a big island in the middle. There are lots of windows to let in natural light, and there is a big, comfy armchair in the corner for reading. How many bedrooms are there in your house? That sounds amazing. No TV is a bold choice. In my dream house, there's a huge kitchen with a big island in the middle. There are lots of windows to let in natural light, and there is a big, comfy armchair in the corner for reading. How many bedrooms are there in your house?
That was a great warm-up. Now, let's make it a bit more creative. How about we describe our dream houses to each other?
I love that idea. Okay, you start. What's your dream house like?
My dream house is by the sea. In the living room, there's a huge window with a view of the ocean. There are comfortable white sofas and a rustic wooden coffee table. There isn't a television because I want it to be a place for relaxation and conversation.
Okay, I can do that. I'll be the confused tourist. Ahem. Excuse me, I'm looking for a bank. Is there a bank near here?
Yes, there is a bank right around the corner, next to the post office.
Great, and are there any good cafes around here? I'd love a coffee.
Oh, definitely. There are two really nice cafes on this street. There's one small one with great pastries, and there's a bigger one with free Wi-Fi.
Perfect. One last question. Is there a bus stop nearby to get to the museum?
There isn't a direct bus stop on this street. You have to walk for about 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much.
No problem. And scene. That was fun.
That was great. And listeners, did you notice how we used the phrases, is there a bank? For a question about one thing and are there any good cafes when asking about multiple options?
And the answers use them too. Yes, there is a bank. And yes, there are two really nice cafes. We even had a negative. There isn't a direct bus stop. You hear these phrases all the time in the real world.
Okay, we have a really good handle on the present tense. But what if we want to describe a place from the past? Maybe a memory from your childhood or something from history?
That's a great question. The good news is that the rules are exactly the same. We just change the verbs to the past tense. So is becomes was and are becomes were.
Simple enough. Was for one thing, were for many.
Exactly. Let me give an example. I was thinking about my childhood hometown. It was very different 20 years ago. For instance, there was only one cinema in the whole town.
Just one? Wow.
Just one. And I remember there was a big old tree right in the middle of the town square. Everybody knew that tree. For the negative, it's just as easy. For example, there wasn't a shopping mall back then.
That's a perfect example of was and wasn't. It reminds me, I saw an old photo of our city from the 1950s the other day. It was fascinating.
Oh yeah? What was it like?
Well, for starters, there were trams on the main street instead of all the cars we have now. And in the photo, there were many people wearing hats. It looked so different.
That sounds so cool. Trams and hats.
It was, but one thing was very clear. There weren't any skyscrapers, which is just so hard to imagine now.
Definitely. It really shows how much a place can change. And using there was and there were is the perfect way to describe that change.
All right, that brings us almost to the end of our lesson. We have covered a lot of ground today.
We sure have. Let's do a super quick recap. To describe one thing now, you say,
There is. For more than one thing, there are.
and to describe one thing in the past,
There was. And for more than one thing in the past,
there were.
and remember, you can make them negative by adding not. So isn't, aren't, wasn't, and weren't. And to ask a question, you just flip the order.
That's it. The best thing you can do now is practice. Look around you. Describe your room. Think about a place you visited last week and describe it using there was and there were.
That's the best advice. The more you use these phrases, the more natural they will feel. Thank you so much for joining us on Daily English Dialogues.
We'll see you next time. Happy learning, everyone!